Sound resumed.
Good evening, everybody, and welcome to Daytona International Speedway here on this lovely Tuesday evening. We got the Xfinity Series starting tonight. It's a 5-race series, $50 grand prize. It's a dash for the cash. A winner takes all in this point series. You saw, if you tuned in last night to the All-Pro Broadcast Network, you saw the Silver Crowns at Charlotte. But tonight, we got some excellent action here at Daytona International Speedway with the Xfinity cars. Ford Mustangs and Chevy Camaros battling it out. Who will take home the first set of points? We'll find out more. But right now, the drivers are starting their qualifying period. So we will be going live here in about 5 minutes. I'm Dustin Caldwell, and on cameras is Michael D'Amico. I want to thank you for joining us here tonight. I want to give a good shout out to our sponsors here before we get started, Apache Graphics and Race Designs. These guys do an excellent job. I talked a lot about them last night. They do an excellent job on the website. Check us out on our website as well, all-pro-racing.com. But Apache Graphics Race Designs, that's the one you want to check out on Trading Paints. He's got a lot of good stuff up there as well. And as our drivers are making way to get a little bit of track information on what we got tonight, looking at some partly cloudy weather with 63 degrees here in Daytona, Florida. Track temperature is going to sit at about the same, about 63 degrees. So a little bit cooler temperatures are going to give a little bit more grip for these cars. And for those of you who are not familiar with the size of, obviously Daytona International Speedway is a super speedway, meaning it is larger than a mile, mile and a half. This is 2.5 miles, so amazing size to this track. A lot of good race action here. Hopefully we can see some decently 3 wide. We'll find out. The racers tonight will be racing for 50 laps. We got an hour and a half to complete this race, so anything can happen depending upon how many cautions we have. Just to let you know, when you do see the cautions come out, the pace car will be out in front of them. That Mustang iRacing.com pace car will be pacing these cars around the track at about 80 miles an hour. When you see the cars dip into the pits, they'll be hitting about 60 miles. That is the pit limit speed here at Daytona International Speedway. A lot of good race action coming at you tonight. Give a quick rundown of some of the guys that we got here tonight. Zim Ponce, a lot of good Silver Crown action out of him last night. He's just posting a qualifying time of 46.388. And taking a look now, we got Dustin Phillips in that 18 car posting a qualifying time of 46.211. A lot of good action. I mean, I believe Zim was 17th in practice, and Dustin was about 11th in practice. Taking a look at the good old Jeff T. Martin out there. He's posting a qualifying time of 49.855, currently sitting on the pole. Logan Powers, car number 31, posted a qualifying time of 50.024. Gets him the 3rd spot here so far. And we'll be set to go live here again, folks, at 5 till the top of the hour. Another good shout out to some of our other sponsors that you probably hear. Michelangelo's Painting, want to thank them and all the work that they do. Check them out, Michelangelo's Painting in Mesa, Arizona. Again, Apache Graphics and Race Designs, these are the guys that make it happen on our website. And if you want to check us out on our website, it's www.all-pro-racing.com. Find us on Facebook at All Pro Racing. And also, taking a look at it here. Excellent website job done by Ed Whittington here in the Apache Graphics crew. Yeah, we got about 1 minute here before we'll start to see the cars make their way to the grid lines. I want to thank you for tuning in here on this lovely Tuesday evening. It's 9:54 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. I will be calling the race tonight. My name is Dustin Caldwell, and on cameras is Michael D'Amico. I want to thank you for tuning in here on the All-Pro Broadcast Network. Taking a look at some of the other drivers and what they're posting as their qualifying time. The number 33 car is Seth DeMerchant. Qualifying time of about 49.470, sitting on the pole currently. Right behind him, you get the number 20 car of that ever-elusive Matt Clifton. 49.471 gets him to 2nd position. Jeffrey Smith right behind him in the 28. 49.508 qualifying time. So we're seeing a lot of good split times between these cars. It's going to give us a lot of good race action once we go green. And right now, as we listen to race control, Mitchell Reeves in the race control, giving the rundown to the drivers, letting them know how we need to go and how we need to stay safe on this track. We got about, looks like 23 cars in the race tonight. We'll have to see how that shakes out in the first 10 laps as these boys goes green and the nerves pour in, and see if they can able to keep these cars straight. Give us a lot of good racing action here at Daytona International Speedway. And it looks like the 33 car of Seth DeMerchant will be taking the pole tonight. So as the drivers get ready to make their way to the grid, we will be giving you the rundown of where people sit and who they are, what their sponsors are. I want to thank you for tuning in to the All Pro Broadcast Network. This is the premier race of a 5-series race, Dash for Cash, $50 grand prize. Going to the leader of the points, winner takes it all. A lot of good. I mean, this is super speedway action, folks. So if you do like watching super speedway racing, this is the series for you. Tuesday nights here on the All Pro Broadcast Network is the super speedways. They are running the Xfinity. That means Camaro and Mustang action, the ever duel of the muscle car era, still brought forth today here in the Xfinity series on iRacing.com. So as we take a look here, we got Seth DeMerchant on the pole, the number 33 car. He's trying to make his way up there. Take a look here at the grid. We're not seeing Seth DeMerchant here. Oh, there he is. There's the number 33 car in your pole sitter tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Seth DeMerchant in that 33 Rockstar Mustang. Excellent looking paint job there on that car. To his outside, you're going to see the number 20 of Matt Clifton in that beautiful, beautiful Bass Pro Shops Camaro. In the second row, you have Jeffrey Smith, that beautiful yellow and black Havoline Camaro. To his outside, you got Nick Reynolds in that Southwest Motorsports Bass Pro Shops Camaro. Behind him in the inside, you got the number 9 of Raymond Rittenauer in that Hoonigan Ford Mustang. Beautiful paint job on that. To his outside, you have the number 16 car, Hot Wheels himself, Mr. George Bark on the outside, taking the 6th slot tonight. And in the next row behind them, you got the number 44 car of Logan Clampett in that Peak Antifreeze car. Excellent looking paint job there. As we move to his outside, you got the number 27 of Christopher Matas in that all-pro racing car. Beautiful, beautiful paint job on that car. And behind him, you have Steven Hendren in that Goodwrench Racing Service Plus car. The number 3 looks like a Dale Earnhardt Tribute Camaro. Beautiful looking car. To his outside, he'll be going up against Dominic Dyball. And that number 15 car, black, green, and silver, beautiful job in that Camaro. Behind them, you got Dustin Lee in that Olive Hill welding car, and that beautiful blue and white Camaro. His outside, you got the 02 of Mitchell Reeves in that Southeastern Motorsports Bass Pro Shops Camaro. A lot of Southeastern guys here tonight. Definitely want to make their debut here in this super speedway race. And then behind him, you'll have the 89 of Matthew Quick in that beautiful Tetris Angry Cat puking up rainbow Camaro. Amazing paint job. Guy always never seems to fail with his job. And then you have Damon Gilbert in that beautiful blue, night blue, and pinstriped blue Mustang. Back behind him on the inside, you have the 26 of Stephen Thomas in that wicked looking outlaw paint job car he's got on that Camaro. To his outside, you have Dustin Phillips. And you have Jeff T. Martin, Logan Powers, Ed Whittington, Brandon Short, Zim Ponce, Nick Hunt, Brandon Jackson behind these guys. We're about to go green, folks. And as they make their way around, his car drops in. We're going green. Nick Reynolds, Seth DeMerchant, Matt Clifton, Jeffrey Smith are your first 4 out here. Seth DeMerchant taking them around the first turn. As they make their way down the stretch, And look at the race action we got into the first turn now, folks. Beautiful side-by-side action as we head into the first 2 turns of this 50-lap race. Seth the Merchant is your race leader, followed by Matt Clifton, Jeffrey Smith, Nick Reynolds, and Raymond Rittenauer, George Bart, Logan Clampett, Christopher Mata, Stephen Hendren are your top, and Dominic Dyball round out your top 10 here in this race. Beautiful side-by-side action as they're heading around these turns. And my goodness, these folks are keeping it clean. Good to see we got a good, clean first lap out of this race. If you're just tuning in, this is the season premiere race of the 5 Series race, $50 cash prize. It's the Dash for Cash, winner takes all points. Every racer out here tonight is going to do what they can to get as much position as they can because it's a short series race, and they definitely want to get as many points in to be able to take home that $50 grand prize. Seth the Merchant is your race leader, followed by Matt Clifton and Jeffrey Smith. Not a lot of position changes here in these first couple laps. Everybody seems to be settling into their grooves and trying to make it work. We'll see if we get some good draft action coming out of them as they make their way into the turn. And look at that Halva-Lane car of Jeffrey Smith on the inside, right there behind the Merchant. And here we go. It looks like the high groove's going to pay off now as we start to see people move through. Matt Clifton moving up. And then you got the 54 car of Nick Reynolds right on the outside, right behind him. And look at Matt Clifton in that Bass Pro Shop Southeastern Motorsports car. He's moving pretty quick. But don't look too fast. There's Seth the Merchant taking the inside groove, making it work for him as they make their way down the back stretch. And neck and neck as they head into the next turn. Seth the Merchant, Matt Clifton battling out for a 2 wide. Good battle going on here tonight on this Super Speedway series here at Daytona International Speedway. And look at these cars. They all look like fixed objects. Everybody's trying to find their right groove. We may see 3 wide coming into this next turn. I believe we will. And here they come into turn wide. We got 3 wide, folks. 3 wide as we head into this next turn. Amazing. That's the kind of racing action you like to see at these super speedways. Guys trying to find the high groove and make it work for them, get a little bit of draft action. It looks like that George Bart car, the number 16 car, went up a little too high, got caught up in some dirty air and was able to fall back a few spots. But as we look, it's the Merchant and Clifton is your race leaders now, battling it out neck and neck here in the Super Speedway action at Daytona International Speedway. And wow, look at these guys as they make their way down the stretch. And into the turn, we got another 2 wide again, making it in there. But the Merchant looks like he's making that low groove work for him. Him and Clifton are battling out. But it looks like Clifton's losing a little bit of position on him now. The Merchant's edging out to about 3/4 of a car length ahead of Matt Clifton. Beautiful race action here. Everybody's just moving so seamlessly as we make our way into the 5th, going on the 6th lap of this 50-lap race here at Daytona International Speedway. Looks like everybody has settled into their grooves as they make their way into the turn. Oh, and Clifton goes up a little bit high. Maybe he's going to try to make something work. Him with Nick Reynolds working it out, trying to figure out what they can do. And Nick Reynolds goes up high, almost into the wall. And wow, he's getting a little bit loose there. He's going to fall behind, but the Peak Antifreeze car is right there behind him. George Bart now making his way up there as well, and Nick Reynolds is going to fall back a few positions there. Unfortunately, he got up into the high side, as we mentioned and saw before. Get up into that high side out of that draft, it will push you back. So we'll have to see how that plays out for Nick Reynolds as this race progresses. But right now, Matt Clifton and Seth the Merchant are your race leaders, neck and neck, as they come into the turn. And look at Matt Clifton now trying to take a commanding lead over Seth the Merchant. But maybe got a little bit of bump action from the 33, so he did have to go back to that high groove and try to make it work. Logan Clampett is the Peak Antifreeze Camaro behind Matt Clifton, pushing him around, trying to get some good draft action. But Jeffrey Smith says, "Hey Seth, I'm on your back. Let's battle it out in the low groove," as they're trying to make their way down the stretch here. who will eventually take the race lead and maybe get a little bit of single file action as we get into the later laps of this race. But whoa, look at that. That Bass Pro Shops and Matt Clifton nearly coming in contact with Seth the Merchant. But the Merchant is able to edge him out a little bit right here. Looks like Clifton is owning the turns while the Merchant has the faster car in the straightaways as they pass the start-finish line. And now, moving out now, Seth the Merchant is a car length ahead. But watch out as we head into this turn. It looks like Matt Clifton is going to be coming back around. Logan Clampett helping his buddy out, trying to see what he can do, give him a little bit of push. Looks like that Havoline car is working out in a little bit of blink action. Oh my gosh, Seth the Merchant. Looks like he had a connection issue and he's going to fall back now. Tough break for him in that part. He was the race leader. And now, looky here, the Havoline Camaro of Jeffrey Smith moving out ahead of everybody and taking a commanding lead over Matt Clifton. But we do have a caution comes out. And it may have been Damon Gilbert got into the wall back there, folks, at 68 car. But we'll have to take a look at it here. I believe Damon Gilbert got a little bit loose heading into the turn. So he did get a little bit of bump action with Dominic Dyball. Those two, he went into the back quarter panel and Dominic Dyball got him loose, and then that forced him up into the wall. Luckily, most of the pack, I think everybody was past him at that point, so Dominic Dyball and Damon Gilbert will claim your first caution of the night on lap 8 of this 50-lap race here at Daytona International Speedway. So as I mentioned earlier, as the pace car comes out, that Mustang iRacing pace car, taking these cars around at about 80 miles an hour here tonight at Daytona International Speedway. And as we are pacing, want to give a good shout out to our sponsors, Apache Graphics and Race Design. Check them out on Facebook. You can find them there or on Trading Paints. They got a lot of good action. They are the designers of our website. Our website is all-pro-racing.com. Check us out. If you are interested in racing, we do have a racing league, as you are seeing here tonight on iRacing.com. Check out All Pro Racing. Find any of the guys that are All Pro Racing League drivers, and they'll be happy to give you some information on this. We do put up a lot of good things here on the All Pro Broadcast Network, so if you're just tired of spectating and want to get in on the race, check us out today, All Pro Racing. And as we see a lot of guys looking like they're going to make their way into the pits now, looks like everybody's going to make their way into pits, probably get some damage repairs, get a couple of tires on the car, being 9-10 laps down. Maybe get a little bit of fuel in there. We'll have to see. Who will come off pit road first here? And it looks like Jeffrey Smith is going to be the first one off. So he was your race leader heading into that last caution after Seth the Merchant had a little bit of a connection issue and it caused him to blink out. And luckily, he was able to recover under the yellow line, but Jeffrey Smith made a commanding move on that low groove over Matt Clifton. He, I believe, will be taking the race lead back to green. So as it stands right now, and when we look at race control, we'll have to give them time to get around that start-finish line, let race control figure it out, and we'll give you the position of the top 10 here of this. I believe we have 23 cars in the race tonight. Yeah, 23 cars in the race tonight. As we see Jeffrey Smith pulling up to that pace car now. Again, I want to thank you for tuning into the All Pro Broadcast Network. This is the Super Speedway series that you're witnessing here tonight with the Xfinity cars. That is the Camaro and the Mustang classes battling out, or sometimes known as the B cars, as people mention it, that race the leagues, the official leagues. And if you want to know where we're going to be at, looks like next week we'll be in Talladega. So a lot of good racing action. Daytona always the best track to start everything off at. Again, it is a 5-series race, $50 cash prize. Winner takes it all. Points mean everything. Every racer in here wants to get us to the best position they can. So as we start to wind down into laps 30 and 40, I believe we'll start to see a lot of aggressive driving out of these drivers, trying to get some good positions before the race ends. And as they make their way across the start-finish line, right now we have the lineup for you. The number 28 car, that Havoline Camaro of Jeffrey Smith. He will be taking us back to green, followed by Matt Clifton, the number 20 car, Southeast Motorsports, Bass Pro Shops car. Behind him, you have the 33 car, Seth the Merchant, who did have a connection issue, but he's only 2 positions back as we're going to head back to green. Then you got Stephen Hendren, the number 3 car, followed by George Bark, Logan Clampett, Dustin Lee, Mitchell Reeves. Nick Reynolds and Dustin Phillips will round out your top 10. Sitting down into the 20, we got Jeff T. Martin, Logan Powers, Christopher Matas, Raymond Rittenauer, Dominic Dyball, who was involved in this caution, Zim Ponce, Nick Hunt, and Greg Webb. Rounding out 18, we got Michael Frank, Brandon Short, Matthew Quick, Stephen Thomas, and as we take a look down the list, Damon Gilbert has fell into the last position. So I believe as they make their way around and they hit the start-finish line and everybody's coming out of pits, once we get this, we'll be seeing the lights come off the pace car and we'll be going back to green here at Daytona International Speedway of this premier Super Speedway Series race. Again, if you're just tuning in, I'm Dustin Caldwell, and on camera is Michael D'Amico. We want to thank you for tuning in to the All-Pro Broadcasting Network. This is our Tuesday night series, Super Speedway Series race here. If you're interested in some other open wheel action, we do have Civil Crown Series on Monday nights you want to check out. A lot of good things, and we even have a bi-weekly 50-50 race that is going to take place, so you can check out. It's all, just check out our website, all-pro-racing.com. Excellent website to check out. So as they cross the start-finish line, the lights do come off that Mustang pace car, so we will be going back to green. Seth DeMerchant, Jeffrey Smith, Matt Clifton, and Seth DeMerchant, and Stephen Hendren will be your 4-pack leading us back to green. And excuse me one moment here while I take a drink of my lovely Pepsi. Start talking in these things and you get a little bit of dry in the mouth. You need to wet the whistle here. And they're making our way around the back turns here. We'll see the pace car dip in as we come around. And already Jeffrey Smith looks like he wants to get a good run on Matt Clifton coming into this start. We'll have to see how that pays out for him. Now they're making their way down the stretch. As they come around this turn, we should be seeing the pace car about to dip into the pits. And right there, DeMerchant, the 33 car, looks like he's having a little bit of blinking issues again, which if you were watching earlier, that did cost him the lead of the race, but opened up the door for Jeffrey Smith to be able to take the lead. And here they come into turn 3, and that beautiful looking Goodwrench car, the Dale Earnhardt tribute car of Steve Hendren, right there in the 3rd slot. All right, folks, here they come around the turn. We're going to be set to go green, lap 12 of this 50-lap race, heading into lap 13. And here we go. The pace car will be dipping in. There it goes. We're going to be going green. Jeffrey Smith, Matt Clifton in the front, taking us green. And look at the push by DeMerchant and Smith, making a commanding car length lead over Matt Clifton and Steve Hendren. Jeffrey Smith trying to close the gap and let him know that he wants to lead this race, going around and get the points early in this 5 Series race. And a little bit of blink action, bump action between the 20 and the 28. And oh, looks like the number 3 car is going to try to get in on it. Got Matt Clifton a little bit loose there. But here we go with the draft down the straightaway. Looks like the high crew's working right now. The number 20 car of Matt Clifton's coming out of lead. And the 3 car of Steve Hendren right there. And look at Matt Clifton coming down into that loop group over Jeffrey Smith to take the lead. Beautiful race action that we have here at Daytona International Speedway, folks. This is an amazing super speedway race. And wow, DeMerchant goes down. I believe he's having some issues, folks. And he's going into the pits on lap 13. He may be having some issues. He's going to have to work it out with his crew chief. We'll have to figure out what's going on. But as we look at the race lead now, you got Steve Hendren and Matt Clifton neck and neck, followed by Logan Clampett on the outside and Jeffrey Smith on the inside. But Jeffrey Smith now pushing Matt Clifton ahead on trying to make it 3 wide. He's in the middle groove. Matt Clifton comes up. Oh, and we almost see some bump action there between the 24 and there's 20. Lost by, I think, 28 and the 44, excuse me. But there, Matt Clifton making that low groove work. And then, wow, looky here. Who do we have on the outside? Looks like Nick Reynolds. Or excuse me, Mitchell Reeves, I apologize on that name. 0-2 making it 3 wide. Trying to make a run up there on Logan Clampett, unable to do so. And right to his inside is George Bart. But right behind Mitchell Reeves, you have the 54 of Nick Reynolds. And it looks like he's going to settle back about a car length behind. And we've got a lot of good racing action coming at you here, folks. Check it out. Side-by-side action. This is what the Super Speedway is all about. We do like to see the 3 wide, but this clean action racing, what's going to get us to the finish line here tonight. We do have a time limit, so if we do have a lot of cautions, we may not reach that 50-lap race. But so far here tonight, in 15 laps and 1 caution, I say we're definitely on par to make it. And as we see him come into the stretch, look at this battle up front. Steve Hendren hitting some push there from Logan Clampett. But look at Matt Clifton in the turns. As I mentioned earlier, Matt Clifton has just been owning these turns tonight. Any position he loses on the straightaway, he picks it back up, and that's what's making it so competitive for him out there, especially against that number 3 car, who's definitely got the faster car down the straightaways. And looking at Logan Clammett get a little bit of push action, you got Jeffrey Smith behind Matt Clifton. Each guy trying to make their groove work the best here, as we are in lap 16 of lap 50 right now, folks. As season premiere series, 5 race series, and oh, the number 3 car comes down over Matt Clifton and takes the lead. Steve Hendren, what a move! I think the Intimidator himself would be proud of that move. Boy, did he come out with dominance on that high groove to tell Matt Clifton, I'm taking the lead of this race. What a move! And now we got some 3 wide action down the straightaway. Look at this, excellent. Mitchell Reeves now making that high groove work. Behind him, you got Nick Reynolds giving him a good push. And we got another caution here on lap 17 of this 50-lap race. And it looks like Matthew Quick got into the back of somebody, and I think it was Nick Hunt. 29 car of Nick Hunt. And we see the 44 car of Logan Clampett ahead of Nick Hunt, who just bounced. That's the problem with 3 wide there, guys. Taking a look at it, they're bouncing between these 2 cars, and he got way loose. Wow. And as we take a look at this here, looking at the replay, Logan Clampett is just bouncing all over these cars. I have to find out here who all was involved in that. It's like the 51 and the 31. 51 of Brandon Short, the 31 of Logan Powers was involved in that. Wow. And look at them cars go spinning. My goodness. Almost up over the catch fence. Nick Hunt, unfortunately, was a victim of that wreck, and he was spinning everywhere. That caution is definitely going to claim about 4 or 5 cars in this race. But as we're pacing now, we're going to take a look at it. Steve Hendren, the number 3 car, the Dale Earnhardt Tribute car, will be heading into the pits. He is your race leader as of right now, followed by Matt Clifton, who's right behind him going into the pits. Then you have Jeffrey Smith, who's pitting, Mitchell Reeves, George Bark, Nick Reynolds, Dustin Lee. These guys are your top 7 here. They all are taking some tires, taking some fuel. We'll see how many they take. Your race leader, as he makes his way in, looks like he took maybe some gas. Didn't really take tires. Wow, look at Mitchell Reeves come out around Clifton. I don't know if he got ahead of him before he crossed the pit line. Yeah, it looks like. And Zim Ponce eventually, unfortunately, is going to be taking an EOL. He exited the closed pit there. Tough break for him. He was sitting about in the 16th slot, but that'll push him back down to 22. But right now, as we come around the stretch here, Steve Hendren looks to be your race leader, followed by Matt Clifton, Jeffrey Smith, Mitchell Reeves, Nick Reynolds rounds out your top 5. Extending into your top 10, we got George Bark, Dustin Lee, Jeff T. Martin, Dustin Phillips, and Christopher Matas rounds out your top 10. As we are cautioning, we love to give a shout out to our sponsors, Apache Graphics and Race Designs. Check them out on Facebook and on Trading Paints. It's Apache Graphics Race Designs. And they, as I love to mention, they did the All-Pro Racing website our website is all-pro-racing.com. Check it out. You get a lot of good information, a lot of our sponsors actions there. So if you're interested in getting a good paint job, that'll get you in contact with the people who could get you a nice paint job. You find them, like I said, on Trading Paints. Also want to give a shout out to Michelangelo's Painting. If you're in the Mesa, Arizona area, the guy does an excellent job painting. Mr. Michael D'Amico, check him out. But as mentioned, folks, if you are just tuning in here on lap 19 of this, or 20, excuse me, we just crossed the start-finish line, lap 20 of this 50-lap race. This is the season premiere Super Speedway Series. If you're watching us on Daytona International Speedway here this first week, we will be at Talladega next week. This is a 5-race series, points takes all. So it is a $50 grand prize going to the winner of this series. What they like to call the dash for the cash. Because every position gets you a point, and every point matters. I know if you've tuned in before on the All Pro Broadcasting Network, the Dan's Top Notch Heating and Cooling Truck Series, I believe came down to just a few points. Or it was either that or the bi-weekly 50-50. I think we came down to about 3 points between first and second place. So every position counts in these points races, and these guys are definitely making it known here tonight. Steve Hendren definitely moving through the pack. He was practicing about 9th. He qualified 9th, and he, on lap 20, is your race leader. But Matt Clifton, you know, he's maintaining his par as he qualified 2nd, and he is in 2nd position. So a little bit of expectations here for that Southeast Motorsports number 20 car. And I believe this time around we will see the lights come off that Mustang iRacing pace car. Again, these guys are pacing at 80 miles per hour as they make their way around the track. Some of you short track fans know that, you know, it sounds kind of fast, but really, when you get in this 2.5-mile track at Daytona, it is seamlessly relative to some of your smaller half-mile tracks. And as we see them make their way down the stretch here, waiting for that light to come off that Mustang iRacing pace car. And there we are. The light is off. So Steve Hendren and the number 3 Dale Earnhardt Tribute car will be taking us back to green. Matt Clifton will be to his outside. Mitchell Reeves of that 02 car will be on the inside. Nick Reynolds on his outside. We got Dustin Lee, Jeff T. Martin, Jeffrey Smith, George Bart, Christopher Modis, Dustin Phillips is your top 10 as we head back into green on lap 21, heading into lap 22 of this 50-lap race here at Daytona International Speedway. Beautiful, beautiful race action, side-by-side super speedway expectations tonight. And we've even seen some good 3-wide action. Mitchell Reeves taking out high groove up earlier, trying to make it work. Got a few positions out of it. We'll have to see. He's in 3rd position, folks. And as they make their way down the front stretch here, into the turn. This is a little bit of an odd race. I mean, the start-finish line is in what seems to be a turn. Typically, you would see a start-finish line in a straightaway, which makes it kind of interesting here, and that's why a lot of these cars, when they do grid, they start in the pit area and make their way out onto the track. As I mentioned earlier, 63 degrees is tonight, so that's why we're seeing some good race action. A little bit cooler temperatures give you a little bit better grip, and as it heats up, still gives you decent grip. This would be midday. I'm sure we'd be slipping and sliding all over the place. Here we are, folks. We'll be seeing the Mustang pace car on this stretch drop into the pits, and Steve Hendren, the number 3 car, Matt Clifton is outside, will be taking a screen. And there they go. Pace car into the pits. Here we go. We're going green. Lap 22 of this 50-lap race. And look at that low groove work already. Mitchell Reeves trying to give Steve Hendren a push. Each of these guys tonight are trying to find what groove really works to get that best draft action. And right now, the slow groove, as we see Matt Clifton fall back to about 3rd position behind Mitchell Reeves. And you got that Olive Hill car, Olive Hill welding car right behind him. Dustin Lee right there, trying to make his way up into 3rd position. The 54 of Nick Reynolds is right there trying to push up Matt Clifton. And look, as we come into the turn, Matt Clifton doing what he does best in these turns. But look at Jeff T. Martin right there behind Nick Reynolds is making it work out. 14, beautiful red car. And it looks like Steve Hendren's going to come out to a lead. We'll have to see. Now Matt Clifton. So as we see here, 23 laps into this race, it looks like the high groove is winning on the outside. It is winning speed on the straightaways, but the low groove is what's going to take him on the turns. As we watch Clifton here and Reeves neck and neck heading down the stretch. And now Matt Clifton gets a little bit of a blink action going on. Might have a slight connection issue there. But Steve Hendren on that low groove making it work into that turn, and Mitchell Reeves giving him a little bit of push. Matt Clifton falling back a little bit here. But we'll see him rally back on this straightaway. And as we look further back a little bit here in the pack, a little bit of good action here. Side-by-side action between the 14 and the 16. George Bark and the 16 Hot Wheels. Jeff T. Martin on the outside of Southeast Motorsports Bass Pro Shops. Number 14 red car. And these cars coming off that turn getting a little bit loose there as we saw Dustin Lee kind of slide under that yellow line. Oh, and we got, I believe, the 18 car there of Dustin Phillips now gets that. And look at that number 8 car of Greg Webb making his move on the high side. He's going to take over a new spot. Greg Webb's been kind of silent here tonight, but he's kind of moving through the pack. We'll see how he does as this progresses. We're about to cross the start-finish line, and we are now at the halfway point of this 50-lap race, lap 25 here at Daytona International Speedway. And if you're joining us, I want to thank you for tuning in to the All-Pro Broadcast Network on this Tuesday night Super Speedway series using the Xfinity cars. These guys are running the Mustangs and the Camaros, which you would see in the Xfinity series. A lot of good battles, so a lot of personal belief in these cars between, you got two to pick from. The old Ford versus Chevy debate is out there, but right now, Matt Clifton takes the lead over Steve Hendren. That 54 car of Nick Reynolds to his outside is being pushed by Jeff T. Martin, and right there is the 31 of Logan Powers now, trying to make that high groove work. Everybody bobbing and swaying, trying to maintain clean contact as they get close to each other in the turns. Coming out of the straightaways, they try to get as much position as they can. Look at that SPB car there, Logan Powers, the number 31 car. Excellent looking car here tonight. And look at these cars, they are inches from the bumper. Powers inches from T. Martin's bumper. So that's what it's going to take to get a little bit of bump draft going on here to get that good push, try to make your groove work for everybody. And whoa, Jeff T. Martin now slides up, and a little bit of bump action there with Logan Powers, but Robin's racing, folks. Oh, my goodness, and Jeff T. Martin now. Man, Jeff T. Martin into the 44 of Logan Clampett. That's going to claim about 5 or 6 cars here on lap 26 of this 50-lap race. My goodness. Take a look at that replay on Jeff T. Martin, as I believe the bump of the 31 car Logan Powers into Martin sent Martin into the wall, and he just came right down into the 44 car of Logan Clampett. And as they spun out, you just start to see cars trying to dodge as much as possible. And Martin just comes spinning around. I think he hit the 26 car of Stephen Thomas. Clampett's going to claim the number 8 there of Greg Webb. Man, a lot of these cars just spinning everywhere into the grass. That's an unfortunate event for a lot of those cars. Sometimes that is a victim of, you could be an easy victim of the super speedways. When you're just driving along and a wreck just comes out of nowhere and blames your car, there's nothing you can do and there's no way to avoid it. So as we see here on lap 27, Matt Clifton will be going into the pace. Steve Hendren right there pitting with them. We'll see what they take here on lap 27. I believe we'll see 2 tires, maybe some gasoline. But then taking that first slide, pivotal position in these super speedway races. And no, he just took fuel. So these guys are not taking tires, they're just taking fuel here, trying to make it work for them. See if anybody takes tires down pit road. There's Reeves coming off of pit road. Logan Powers now makes his way off pit road. Dustin Lee is up there. And as we take a look at this, we are cautioning here on lap 28 of this 50-lap race. See if we can get Mr. Matt Clifton here on the horn, see what he has to say about this race. Matt Clifton, this is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. Are you there?
Yeah, bud, I'm here.
What a beautiful race it has been for you tonight, and man, some dominating moves between you and Steve Hendren. Definitely trying to find out which groove works, the high groove or the low groove, and get some good push action between Nick Reynolds and Mitchell Reeves. How's this race panning out for you? How do you feel about this race tonight?
I think if I can stay top 2, top 3, we'll have a shot at it. Probably with about 2 laps to go, I think the line you want to be in is probably going to be the middle. I think that's going to be the line that wins the race.
Yeah, we've seen some good action come between Jeff T. Martin there, and I think Logan Clampett, I believe it was Clampett, tried to take the middle groove and ended up bumping Martin into the wall, and that's what brought out this caution. So I believe if you're going to take that middle line, you might want to be a little bit careful there, buddy.
Yeah, I'm gonna probably try to stay on the bottom until a couple laps to go, then I'll shoot up if the middle lane starts moving. And if not, then the 20 car is going to be really wide.
Well, hopefully if you have to go wide, you'll be able to maintain her there and not hit the wall. So we want to thank you, Matt. We appreciate your time, everybody. Good luck to you in the rest of this race.
Thanks, bud.
That's Matt Clifton, ladies and gentlemen. If you're just tuning in, this is the All Pro Broadcast Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell, and on cameras we have Michael D'Amico of this wonderful 5-race series of the Super Speedway Series race that's premiering here tonight at Daytona International Speedway. This is a 50-lap race. We're about to be 30 down into it. As the temperature is cool, 63 degrees, the tempers, though, have heated up as we've gone down. A lot of guys, a lot of bumping, a lot of action going on, getting some cars in and out of the wall. Seen some people fall back, had some connection issues. A lot of drama here prevailing here tonight at Daytona. But we will be looking at here as they cross the start-finish line here. Going to give you a rundown of where these cars sit. But before I do that, I just want to give another shout-out sponsor to Apache Graphics and Race Designs. Check them out on Facebook, Apache Graphics Race Designs. They do have some paints up there on Trading Paints. Also want to give a good shout-out to Michelangelo's Painting. If you're in the Mesa, Arizona area, check them out. They got some good painting jobs out there. They do an excellent, excellent job. And if you're interested in us in the All Pro Racing Network, check us out on the website, www.all-pro-racing.com. Get all of our series information there, as well as some of these sponsors. If you like tuning in on Monday nights, Tuesday nights may not be for you. Silver Crown Series is on Monday night. It's an excellent series to watch, a little bit of open wheel action. Silver Crown Series, if you're not familiar with the term, they're like sprint cars, just a little bit bigger and have more horsepower in the engine. That's why you see them on the bigger tracks. But as we look here, crossing lap 30 into this 50-lap race, that Mustang iRacing pace car lights do come off. We will be going green. The rundown as we are pacing around the corner here is Raymond Rittenauer II will be taking us back green as he's currently sitting in first, followed by Matt Clifton, Steve Hendren, Nick Reynolds, Dustin Lee, Jeffrey Smith, Matt Quick is your top 6. Mitchell Reeves, Zim Pons, Logan Powers, Dustin Phillips, Jeff T. Martin, Damon Gilbert, George Bart, Greg Webb, round out 14, Brandon Short, Christopher Matos, Michael Frank, Logan Clampett falls back to 8, and he is 2 laps down. So we started out with 23 cars, and now 14 of them are on the lead lap. And again, folks, you won't find the start-finish line on the straightaway here at Daytona. They have strategically placed it for seating of the fans. So it is on the turn. So right now, as we make our way in this turn and become a little bit of a stretch, you will see the pace car drop into the pits, and as they start to go into what is the small curve, be going green. And Raymond Rittenauer II will be taking us back green in that beautiful number 9 car. And here we go as they make their way into the front stretch. That pace car will be dropping into the pits at the edge of the front stretch, and Raymond Rittenauer, Matt Clifton, Stephen Hendren, Nick Reynolds will be taking us green. There goes the pace car, and we're getting ready for the green flag. Green flag is out. The number 9, number 20. Neck and neck as they come across the start-finish line. Raymond Rittenauer the second. Able to, I believe he didn't pit, so he's able to take the first position. Getting pushed by Steve Hendren at number 3, Dale Earnhardt Sr. tribute car. Looks like that low groove's working. Matt Clifton, as he mentioned in the interview here during the caution, trying to make the middle groove work, was not able to do so, and Dustin Lee now moves up, and he moves up, and they're going to the high side now. The number 19 followed by the number 3, giving a good push on the high side. Raymond Rittenauer, now seeing the folly of not taking the pit, is now on the low groove, and he's going to fall back a couple positions. So a lot of good lead changes here on lap 31 of this 50-lap race. And right now, Steve Hendren is your race leader, followed by Dustin Lee, Matt Clifton, Raymond Rittenauer the second, and the number 28 car of Jeffrey Smith, and that black and yellow Havoline car. As they come across the start-finish line, we will see the number 3 of Steve Hendren taking the lead, followed by him of the number 19. But Matt Clifton is not done yet, folks. Like he said, the middle groove's working. He has lost position, but he has gained position. Jeffrey Smith doing what he can to give him some push action, trying to find that good draft and make it work for him. And everybody's settling into their grooves here as they make their way down the back stretch into the turn 3. That low groove, Steve Hendren's making it work for him. 19 car of Dustin Lee and that Olive Hill welding car is giving them a good push. Got a lot of good draft action going on between these two. And as we see as they come around to this next turn, Matt Clifton got an excellent draft from Jeffrey Smith. And then, whoa, look at that. They're side by side. Number 20, number 3. Maybe a little bit of rubbing there as they head into that turn. And everybody's getting kind of loose now, but they're able to bring it back under control. Steve Hendren doing what he can to maintain. This is the premier series of the Super Speedway series here in the Xfinity cars on the All Pro Broadcast Network. Mustangs and Camaros battling it out here tonight at Daytona International Speedway. And as we see Jeffrey Smith finding their way in, getting that Clifton out by a nose over Steve Hendren. Then the 54 car of Nick Reynolds and Mitchell Reeves, the 02, making it 3 wide as they head into the turn. Oh my goodness. And I'm sure Jeffrey Smith's nerves are riled up there. You never want to be in the middle of the 3 wide. As we seen earlier tonight, that claimed a few cars, especially if Jeff T. Martin was on the outside of a 3 wide and got bumped into the wall. And there they go back to a 2-pack as they head into the curve. Steve Hendren takes a comfortable lead over Matt Clifton. But as we come into the straightaway, Matt Clifton should be moving up a little bit. There comes Jeffrey Smith in a Havoline Camaro right on the bumper of number 20, Matt Clifton. They cross the start-finish line of 35 laps. 15 laps to go here at Daytona International Speedway of this premier race of the Super Speedway Series on the All Pro Broadcast Network. A lot of good racing action here. Dustin Lee's now side by side with Matt Clifton, a little bit loose there. Jeffrey Smith is in 4th. Raymond Rittenauer, who took us back to green after that last caution, is in 5th position. Don't count him out yet. He is hanging on tight there. Right behind him, you got Damon Gilbert and Mitchell Reeves side by side. Got the lovely 16 car of George Bark and that Hot Wheels car. He's going to fall back to 9th position as the 54 car of Nick Reynolds now moves up. And man, as we come to the turn, Mitchell Reeves got a little loose in that turn. My goodness, Nick Reynolds backs off. He said, I didn't want no part of that. Oh, and we got a wreck. Oh my gosh, the number 3. The number 3 of Steve Hendren. I think we saw some bumping going on. Yeah, it looks like Dustin Lee may have bumped Steve Hendren up into Matt Clifton, and that sent him into the wall. My goodness. I believe this is our fourth caution of the night, folks, here on lap 36 of this 50-lap race. Hopefully we won't see too much damage from Matt Clifton or Steve Hendren. I know Steve Hendren hit the wall. And we'll have to see if anybody makes their way into the pits. That Mustang iRacing pace car is coming out there off the first turn. Cars are going to have to check up at about 80 miles an hour. Yeah, they come. They're making their way around there. Dustin Lee in that Olive Hill welding car, number 19. Looks like he's going to be our race leader. As they make their way around and they get around that front stretch, we'll see if they dip into the pits for some more gasoline. Maybe a couple of tires. Not sure if we'll see tires though this late in the race, but we'll have to see. Here they come down the front stretch. The back stretch, excuse me. Got a little turnaround there, folks. They're down the back stretch. The way it looks right now, Dustin Lee, the number 19 car, is your race leader, followed by Jeffrey Smith, Raymond Rittenauer II, Mitchell Reeves, Damon Gilbert, Zim Ponce, George Bark, Nick Reynolds, Stephen Hendren, and Jeff T. Martin round out your top 10. Stephen Hendren able to recover after that last caution. Amazing job he did. Especially hitting the wall, getting it back in. But we'll have to see where Matt Clifton ends up after this. So they are making their way down the front stretch now, folks, coming out of that turn. We'll see if Dustin Lee leads them into the pits. And we'll see if they take some gas. I believe they will be seeing some guys pit here. Dustin Lee stays out, so does Jeffrey Smith, Damon Gilbert, Mitchell Reeves, and Raymond Rittenauer, who didn't take the pit last time we cautioned, will go in now. Mitchell Reeves, who got loose. I want to see if Mitchell Reeves takes some tires here. See what we got. Well, don't know. Take a look at the pits if Mitchell Reeves is able to take it. But Dustin Lee is your race leader, and we'll be taking us back green on the backstretch here. Sorry about that, folks. I got a little bit jumped up here in my replay tapes, and it got me off track. Jeffrey Smith is right beside Dustin Lee on the outside, followed by Damon Gilbert, George Bart, Raymond Rittenauer II, and Mitchell Reeves are your top 5 heading back into the green. As we are cautioning, we want to give a shout out to our sponsors, Apache Graphics Race Designs. Check them out on Facebook, Apache Graphics Race Designs. They do have some paints up on Trading Paints. Check them out. Ed Whittington is his name. He does an excellent job. He's the guy who designed our website. And if you want to check out our website, www.all-pro-racing.com. Beautiful job that Ed did for us there. You'll find out some more information on other series like the Silver Crown or the 50/50 bi-weekly series there. So get the time and step over and take a look at it. It's an excellent job they got going on there. But if you are just tuning into this 39th lap of 50 lap, 11 to go here at Daytona International Speedway on the premier race of this Super Speedway series. It's a five race series. $50 grand prize goes to the winner, taking points. And as we're cautioning here, I think we'll have at least another lap here, and we're going to see if we can get Mitchell Reeves here and kind of see what was going through his mind here before this last caution. Mitchell Reeves, this is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. How you doing there, buddy?
We're doing pretty good.
Man, what an action you've had tonight, trying to go 3 wide up on that high groove with Nick Reynolds. A lot of stuff going on. I saw you got a little bit loose going on there. Tell us what's going on, what's going through your mind here at this point in the race.
Really, it's just avoiding the wrecks. There's been wrecks left and right, and fortunately we've been able to get through a couple. Had to use a quick fix there. We got 10 laps to go. You know, we're in it to win it, so might as well have the best car out there. Yeah, we tried to make it 3 wide. Jeffrey kind of shut the door. Next time if that happens, we're just going to wad them up because I ain't lifting again if that happens. But we're definitely going for the win here. We're going to try to gain the most points, and the only way to gain the most points is win the race, so that's what we're going for.
Definitely. Anybody you're going to watch out for or try to get some assistance from?
Oh, really? At this point, it's whoever's behind me, but hopefully it's a Southeast teammate. Jeff T. Martin, Matt Clifton, Nick Reynolds. Our plan is to do 1, 2, 3, 4, but it's going to be harder to do than we thought. But hey, we're going to give it our best.
Well, best of luck to you, buddy. A lot of good racing action from you. Got about 10 to 9 to go, so good luck to you, Mitch.
Thanks.
Now, ladies and gentlemen, you heard it from Mitch. We are going to be 9 laps into this to go when we go back to green. As that Mustang iRacing pace car comes across the start-finish line, it is going to shut off the lights, and we will be going green. As the rundown as it seems right now, the number 19 car, the Olive Hill Welding of Dustin Lee, is in your first position. He will be taking his green, setting the pace. Followed by Damon Gilbert, Jeffrey Smith, George Bark, Steve Hendren, Mitchell Reeves, Zim Ponce, Jeff T. Martin, Matt Clifton, who was in the last accident that brought out the caution there with Steve Hendren, falls back to ninth. Then you have Matthew Quick, Nick Reynolds, Raymond Rittenauer in the second, Logan Powers, Greg Webb. I believe, as we take a look, yes, Greg Webb is the last car on the lead lap. So we still have 14 cars, started with 23 here tonight. A few cars have fallen, unfortunately, but we do see some cars out. Got a guy that's lap down. Dustin Phillips is a lap down, but fortunately, it doesn't look like he might get a lucky dog here tonight. So they are making their way down the back stretch on this 40th lap. 10 laps here to go. 9.5, excuse me, to go. Dustin Lee in that Olive Hill Welding blue and white number 19 car will be taking us back green, with Damon Gilbert on his outside. A lot of good action here we're going to see coming out. Like I said, the last 10 laps is when the mirrors start to flare. And we'll see what happens here. You have two Camaros leading the pack, coming back green. As they come down the front stretch, here we go. Dustin Lee taking us green. Pace car drops in, and here we go. Green flag is out. Lap 40, heading into lap 41 of this 50-lap race here at Daytona International Speedway. I want to thank you for tuning in to the All-Pro Broadcast Network. I'm Dustin Caldwell, and on cameras is Michael D'Amico. This is our Super Speedway Series premiere race at Daytona International Speedway of a 5-race series. Dustin Lee, down on the low groove, is able to get out ahead of Jeffrey Smith. Jeffrey Smith is now going to fall back. Damon Gilbert comes into the inside. And George Bark is right behind him in that Hot Wheels car, trying to find what groove's going to work. It looks like George wants to go high and maybe get a run on Damon Gilbert. We'll see on this backstretch if it's going to happen. And yes, he does. He's getting a little bit of push from Jeffrey Smith now. And there's Dustin Lee trying to do what he can to maintain the lead as he heads around that turn. And are making their way down the front stretch here, folks. 19 car, and look at this now. Jeffrey Smith pushing George Bark up there now. We got some neck-and-neck action, high groove, middle groove working here on this lap 42 of this 50-lap race. And we have another caution that just came out. I believe Matt Clifton may have been involved in that. And taking a look at the replay here, it looks like Matt Clifton came down into the 13. Jeff T. Martin goes into the wall. Matt Clifton spins out, and a few more cars get claimed out of that. My goodness, it looks like Dustin Phillips was involved. Dominic Dyball, I believe. No, it didn't look like it was Dominic there. But yeah, unfortunately, the results you see sometimes of these guys not taking tires after cautions get a little bit loose. You know, you get into one incident and try to make it work for you, and unfortunately the tires just aren't there. Get a little bit loose coming out of a turn. It may have been Zim Ponce. Take a look here. I believe Zim Ponce was on the low side of Matt Clifton when they went into that race. So as we see here, taking a look, Zim Ponce on the low side, Matt Clifton on the high side. And it looks like Matt Clifton did get into the bumper of Zim Ponce, so fortunately, that's how it rolls here. So I think we'll be cautioning for 3 laps. May see 3 or 4 laps here before we hit the white flag. Daytona International Speedway. I want to thank you for joining us here. See if I could see if we can get somebody on the line here. Can get Zim Ponce on the line here. Zim Ponce, this is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. Are you there, buddy?
Hey, what's up, guys?
Man, you were just driving down your merry way, and it looks like Matt Clifton made a little bit of contact with that back bumper drawing out this caution. What was going through your mind there?
I'm going to spin. Oh, thank God I didn't spin.
Yeah, it looks like you were able to maintain it As I see you heading into the pits now, what are you talking to your crew chief? What are you thinking you guys are going to do? Any kind of tires, or are we just going for fuel here?
We're just gonna get some damage repaired.
A little bit of damage repaired, no fuel. You looking good on fuel?
Yep, looking like I can get to the end. I mean, these caution laps, I believe we're gonna have like 2 to go at the end, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, as we pace out of here tonight, how do you feel the race has gone for you here in the Speedway Series race?
Oh, this is actually my first time on the All Pro Series. I'm actually really enjoying it.
Glad to hear that, and hopefully you can see a lot more to come from you, buddy. Want to thank you much for your time, and good luck to you in these last few laps.
All right, good luck. Thank you all for the good-ass hosting and badass broadcasting.
Thank you, buddy.
User was moved out of
Alrighty, folks. We are here on lap 44, going to be going 45 here. And it looks like George Bark in that 16 car with Dustin Lee are the top two right now, going back to green. See if we can get somebody else here while we're cautioning. We can get a good guy that's been kind of quiet through the night here. Mr. Greg Webb, this is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. How you doing, buddy?
We doing pretty good. How about you?
Sounds pretty good, man. Not too bad myself up here in the booth. A little bit sweaty from all this race action. A lot of stuff heating up as we progress through these laps. But how's this lap? How do you feel this race has turned out for you tonight?
We've been kind of hanging back here just watching all this action take place, but I might have hung back a little too long. We're hoping for a little good finish, but I don't think we're going to get up there and get the win, but we're going to try.
Yeah, I've seen you making some good moves through the pack tonight, and it's definitely a difficult thing to do when you get 3 wide, but you know, just kind of maintaining your pace. Hopefully you can get some points. It looks like you're doing pretty good there, buddy.
Yeah, I normally don't do this traditional, not qualifying, but I figured tonight would be the night, so just starting the back there. But so far, it's been all right. We can hold it out.
Well, you qualified 24th, and you're currently sitting in 10th, so I'd say that's definitely progress you got going on tonight. Anybody want to give a shout-out to while I got you on the wire?
Yeah, I can give a shout-out to Ed there for the paint scheme I'm running tonight, the old Duke Bull colors, all pro. Especially you. You're just a good guy all the way around. I just get everybody here. People to be
come on now. You don't butter up the broadcaster here.
Well, I got Enos over here riding with me, but he's holding on for dear life.
There you go. Enos is his good old buddy, his mascot. He's got riding with him in his car. All right, Greg, well, I want to give you best of luck to you those last few laps, and hopefully you get higher than 10th position here. You're working your way through this track. A lot of good job from you tonight. I want to wish you the best there, buddy.
Hey, I appreciate it, Terry. Thank you very much.
You're welcome. All righty, folks, we are lap 45, 5 laps to go here in this 50-lap race of the season premiere Super Speedway Series at Daytona International Speedway. If you're just joining us, I'm Dustin Caldwell, and on camera says Michael D'Amico. I want to thank you for tuning into the All Pro Broadcast Network on this Tuesday night. Currently, as it stands, we're going to give you the rundown of who we got, because we will be 1 to go here. We will be 1 to go here as they cross the start-finish line, but it looks like Dustin Lee in that number 19 car, Olive Hill welding car, will be taking us back green, followed by George Bark in the 16 Hot Wheels car. Jeffrey Smith, 28, followed by Damon Gilbert, Mitchell Reeves. And it looks like, I believe... Okay, race control had to get this figured out. I apologize for the mishap, folks. George Bark wanted to take the outside line. He is going to be taking us back green in that Hot Wheels 16 car. But beside him on the inside will be Dustin Lee, followed by Jeffrey Smith, Damon Gilbert, Mitchell Reeves, Stephen Hendren, Nick Reynolds, Logan Powers, Raymond Rittenauer, Greg Webb, as we just talked to, Matthew Quick, Zim Ponce, Jeff T. Martin, Matt Clifton are your cars left on the lead lap. I apologize, it looks like Matt Clifton has gone a lap down. But as they make their way down the front stretch, we will be going green here, folks. 46, lap 46, so we will be seeing 3 laps to go. This is amazing. It's a little bit anticipated, or get the nerves up here these last few laps. Points mean everything in this 5-race series Dash for Cash $50 grand prize. So these guys are going to try to get as many places as they can. And as we see the lights come off that Mustang iRacing base car, we will be going green, folks. George Bark will be leading us back to green with Dustin Lee on his out. Or excuse me, George Bark wants the outside, so he'll be taking it. Typically, it all depends on where they're at, but we would hopefully want to see a guy on the inside groove with the way it's been working tonight. But George Bark wants that outside groove. Then he get some help from Damon Gilbert. But we'll see how Dustin Lee and Jeffrey Smith on the inside pull out. And they come down the front stretch. There goes the pace car into the pits. And we're back green, and George Bark getting a run now. Look at that run George Bark just got. Didn't need any help from Damon Gilbert to get out to the lead. So he goes down into the low groove. But look at Steve Hendren and Damon Gilbert making a push move on the high side. And now Damon Gilbert and George Bark are neck and neck here at lap 47 with 3 to go. And that Hot Wheels car is doing what he can on that low groove with Dustin Lee behind him, but it looks like everybody wants to make that high side work. As we now see behind Steve Hendren the 28 car of Jeffrey Smith. Jeffrey Smith is pushing along, and he's going to fall back a little bit there. Well, there's George Bark now making a move with the 19 behind him of Dustin Lee. And here comes the number 3 and the number 68. Pushing it back to neck and neck as they cross the start-finish line. We are 2 laps to go here in this 50-lap race. Damon Gilbert's coming out now, and now he's getting a good push heading into the turn. And George Bark now, wow, folks, I'm telling you, if you're tuning into this, you're getting your money's worth here tonight. A lot of neck-and-neck action between these two. This might come down to a photo finish. We might have to see what happens here. Because it looks like Damon Gilbert's taking a little bit away from George Bark on these straightaways, but as they head into the turns, they come back neck and neck. Steve Hendren giving Damon Gilbert what he can, helping him out, trying to make it push. And whoa, look at the 28 car now, going 3 wide across the start-finish line. Jeffrey Smith, Mitch Reeves on the outside, making it 3 wide. We got a lot of action. Here it is, folks. This is what I talked to you about all night. I've been telling you, points mean everything, and these guys want to get the positions they can, and that's why we're seeing 3 wide here. They're making their way into the back stretch. A little bit of bump action between the 19, the 28, the 3. He's getting bobbled around like a pinball in there. And there's Raymond Rittenauer right there behind Steve Hendren. Dick Reynolds right there behind Dustin Lee on the inside, and they're just moving through, but George Bark now gets out to a car length ahead of Damon Gilbert. Here they come down the stretch. Across the start-finish line, we are white flag, 1 to go. Here at Daytona International Speedway, this premier race of the Super Speedway Series. George Bark, Damon Gilbert, battling it out neck and neck. Who's going to be behind him to give him the extra push, or will we see a 3rd wide as we come around? Half a lap to go. We are on the back stretch. My goodness, folks. There goes Steve Hendren. Steve Hendren wrecks. It all comes down to position. The 28 car making his move, but George Bark staying consistent on that lower side. My goodness, as they come around, the 28 car of Jeffrey Smith not going quietly into this night. 54 car right there pushing him. Nick Reynolds. What a move! What a move! Oh my gosh, Nick Reynolds! Nick Reynolds takes the win. What a move at the last moment. That 54 car. Oh my gosh. For a second there, I thought George Bark was going to remain consistent and take home the win. But what a move at the last minute with Nick Reynolds. Oh my gosh, folks. This is what Super Speedway racing's all about. You want to see it neck and neck, coming down to the wire like that. What a finish here. And I apologize, I was saying Nick Reynolds. As I take a look back, I do apologize. Nick Reynolds is pushing Jeffrey Smith, folks. I apologize on that. My nerves are so through the roof there. Jeffrey Smith was the guy that was in front of Nick Reynolds that got pushed by Nick Reynolds to take home a win. But we saw Jeffrey Smith up there all night, and what a move it was at the last minute to be able to take home the victory here for that number 28 car, that Havoline car. My goodness, if you give us a moment here and we'll have some interviews here for you. Want to see what happens here. See if I can get somebody here on the line. Gotta see if we can get Nick Reynolds here in the second place finisher. Nick Reynolds, this is Dustin Caldwell in the booth. How you doing, buddy?
Good. What's going on, man?
Oh my gosh, what an epic finish to this premier race here of the Super Speedway Series on the All Pro Broadcast Network. You guys just pulled on it, went high side, and man, did you just push Jeffrey Smith to victory lane? What was going through your mind there at the last turn of that lap?
Well, me and Mitchell were, working together there, and I don't know where he went to, and I just saw a hole there, so I just hopped in there and started helping Jeffrey. He's a good guy.
Yeah, it looks like you guys made that work. I mean, for the last part of that lap, we seen George Bark on the low groove, and it looks like he was going to have it out and just kind of cruise to victory lane, but just out of nowhere, guys just got this boost, and man, taking that high side for you, was able to come in second. I mean, you started this race in fourth and ended up in second. I mean, are you excited about that? How do you feel?
Oh yeah, man, I'm very excited. Mitchell and Jeff and Matt, we love super speedway racing. We try our hardest here.
Yeah, it definitely looks like it paid off. Hard work does prevail, folks, and Nick Reynolds showed you here tonight how it happens. So I want to thank you much, Nick Reynolds, for your time there, buddy. Congratulations to you finishing second tonight in this Premier Series race.
All right, man. Thank you.
And as I take a look around here, I don't know if we're going to be able to get anybody else on the line. Don't think we're going to be able to get Jeffrey Smith. I think they're just partying too hard down there at victory lane. I'm talking to the producers here, see if we can get him on the horn. George Bark, I don't think I'm able to find George Bark either. George Bark there, not too happy at the end, I'm sure. All right, folks, well, fortunately, due to technical difficulties, we won't be able to get you your race winner for this evening. Love to have got... See if we can, producers telling me here we might have a chance to get him here. Bit of an alternative method here, folks, for you. Alrighty. Jeffrey Smith, are you there? This is Dustin Caldwell in the booth.
What a move tonight by you at the very end, getting pushed by Nick Reynolds. My goodness, we thought George Bark had this one locked and loaded for the victory lane, and out of nowhere, you guys just get this big momentum shift. What was going through your mind there at the last lap, half of that lap?
Just getting a great push from Mitchell Reeves back there, and hoping we could make something happen on the high side, and something they just kind of opened, they kind of wrecked behind us, and the 3 blew a motor, I believe, and I dropped down and got up under Damon, and he gave me room there. But I think I might have got into Dustin down there, and didn't mean to. But if I did, I apologize to him after the race.
Well, I'll tell you what, though, it was a spectacular finish to this Premier Series race here on the All Pro Broadcast Network. Taking a look out here, do we still have George Bark on the line?
Yeah, what's up, man?
Mr. George Bark, man, started this race looking at about, I believe, when you qualified 6th, ended up in 3rd tonight. Not too bad of a finish. Some progress is always good. You battled out for first line and cruised on first, heading back into that green flag. What was going through your mind on that last lap of the race?
It's pretty much played safe. Wasn't going in there to pinch anybody or anything like that. I just want to come out of it, survive into the line. So, just play it safe, race for a little bit of points. That was the plan.
Yeah, I definitely thought you had it locked up, ready to go here tonight, and was kind of rooting for you there at the last second. But what a momentum shift it was, and it was amazing to see that happen. Fortunately, you are able to finish in 3rd, buddy. I mean, it's a good job. Anybody you'd like to give a shout out to?
Yeah, my whole team there. We've got Dustin, we got Damon, we got Steven, we got Dominic. They make it happen. I want to shout out, congratulations to Jeffrey there and Nick pulling that off. Good job, guys. Thanks for cheering me on, too, man. Appreciate it.
Hey, I always got to be a fan of a Hot Wheels car. I was a Hot Wheels fan growing up.
All right, bro. I'll see y'all next week.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, there was your race winner, Jeffrey Smith, Nick Reynolds, and George Bark, our top three, finishing here tonight of the premier series of the Super Speedway Series at Daytona International Speedway. Thank you again. We'll give a shout-out to our sponsors, Apache Graphics Race Designs. Check him out. Ed Whittington is his name. Trading Paints is where he's at. And also on Facebook, check him out. And also check out the work he did on our website, apologize, my nerves are still going from the finish of that race. www.all-pro-racing.com. That's our website, folks. Check us out. You get all of our series information there. Some of our sponsors there you'll find there. We will be back next week at Talladega in the Super Speedway Series. See if Jeffrey Smith can do what he could do to pull off another win and maintain his lead. He is your points leader as we head into this night. I want to thank again, as always, I'm Dustin Caldwell, and on cameras is Michael D'Amico. I want to thank you for tuning in on this Tuesday night broadcast on the All Pro Broadcast Network. We'll see you next week.